Okay, so following on from my last tutorial for headbands, I've been asked to make another one showing how to make a scrubs cap. So I've got this pattern which I have drawn on A4 paper, and I will send it to you if you request it. What you do is you cut out all the pieces, and where obviously it says overlap here, you've got a mark there, that would then overlap there, and then that one goes here, like that. So then you end up with the side piece and the head piece. Okay, so this has to be cut on the fold. So that's this bit here. It uses less fabric if you do it this way, and you leave enough space to cut this out. You only need one of these. So, okay. Right, so I'm going to cut this out. So as I say, you only need one of these. It does fit quite nicely there. Okay, so first thing I've done with this is you go 1 centimetre in, and then another centimetre, and just press it with your finger and pop a pin in it. So that's ready. So I need another one of these. Okay, so now that we've cut this part out, we need to cut out a lining. So I've chosen the orange, and I'm going to place that on the paper as I did before. Okay, so that's it. It's fairly easy, but what we've got to do is there's a mark on the pattern, and this is quite important because it shows where you start and stop sewing, so you've got enough room to put the cap in. So you need to mark where that line was on both sides for the outer and the lining. So like that, flip it over, and then again. The angle right. So if I pop that there, it should line up. Yep. And then I'm going to mark here. So you need to put right side to right side. So I have that facing upwards. Okay. So line up the pins. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pin at the top to stop it moving too much whilst we're sewing. So this bit is left open like that, and then we're going to sew from that pin all the way around back up to there. Just trim that off. Right, so go to the machine. Right, so I'm going to machine from the pins all the way around to the other pins. So I'm in position, so I'm going to take those pins out and then start. Now what I normally do is reverse and then go again. Just keep it lined up. Now, I'm rounding mine off, but you can just do a square end. Okay, so I need to go back to the table. Okay, so because my Scrubs cap fabric is not quite matching up, I'm just going to trim it off. Now these corners, when you've got a rounded off tie, if you chop the corners off, it makes a really neat corner. If you've got the point in, it just makes it hard, and it's hard to turn it the right way around, so just cut them off at an angle like that. Okay, so I'm going to turn it the right way around. This is where my little tool comes in handy. So I'm going to give this a quick press. Right, I'm just going to grab the iron. Okay, so I always press at this stage because it makes it so much easier once the cap's in, because you won't need to press it again. So they're the ties at the back. This is the bit that goes at the front. So it looks a really difficult pattern to do, but it's not. It's so easy. Okay, give that a little press. That's the seam that's at the back. Okay, so we'll move back over to the sewing machine. Okay, so I usually do a double seam on this, just because I think it looks nicer. But starting the go back. Just snip off your ends. Okay. Now what you need to do now is, because you've pressed it, it's still warm, you can actually just mark the centre of the hat just by doing that. And then you also mark the centre of the top of the headpiece. So you put them both together like that. And I'll pop a pin in. Okay, so this is just, you just have to take this slow. So starting from there, you need to, let's get the pedal in the right place. So start with, anchor it backwards and forwards. And then what you do is you move the fabric just as you go along. You're still kind of coming in a straight line, but you're moving the hat top. If you find you get too close to the seam, you're going to be going round a second time anyway, so, because one wouldn't really be enough. And then that should, as it is, go past where you've joined those two together. And then anchor it. Spin it round. And then repeat. That gives it extra strength. Okay, so just as before, Just keep pulling the fabric to the edge. Anchor it again and then spin it round for the final time. Okay, so just trim off the edges, and I'm just going to pop over to the overlocker. So just move. Right, so it's just really, it's not really essential, but it does actually stop fraying. So I'm just going to go around the top bit. Just got to be careful not to catch any of the other fabric and just do the seam. Gives you a real deep finish as well. Okay. Okay, so I've tried the hat on Vinny and marked where his ears are, and I just put the button just behind the ears. So I'm going to pop that under the pin. Like that. And you really have to be careful how you line these up, because if the needle hits the button and not the hole, then you break your needle. So once you know it's in the right place, you usually do it twice, just for extra strength. On my machine, if you press the scissors, it puts both ends at the back of the button. Okay, so then the other side. This fabric was donated by my fabric supplier. They're called European Quilting Supplies, EQS, and they're based in Leicester. And they very kindly donated this fabric so that I could make some rainbow headbands for nurses and doctors. There, so take the pin out. Just cut off the threads at the back. And then what I love about having a lining fabric, when they turn back the Scrubs cap, we've got that lovely contrasting fabric. So that's it. Thank you.